welcome to another brand new episode here on 1950's Farm. So what are we up to today? Well, today actually we've got to be a bit of a different job today. So I thought we'd break up the harvest a little bit. I've got that big field finished now, so I thought we'd break the harvest up a little bit by doing a little bit of manure spreading. As I've said before, it's my intention now that we've got more than enough manure that we will manure spread most of the fields that we have now, so that's what we're going to do. I do need to do this outside of the tractor sort of cab, so to speak, because for some reason I keep tipping it the other side of the spreader. But it is easier to do this bit from the tractor cab. But yeah, so it's kind of a mix between in-cab view and out-cab view, because as I say, I keep spilling it over the other side, but there we go. If there was a way to get this simple job wrong, I would definitely find it, and have. Never mind. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope your day's going as you would expect and want. And as I say, we can crack on today with our manure spreading. So we're going to do the big field today. I do have some baling to do as well, as you'll know. Just very quickly, I'll run around now and show you. Well, we can leave that there, turn that off. So if we run round, Alright, over in this field here, you remember this was the first wheat field that we did, and we trailed all of this field, and as I say, we've got some baling to do now. Luckily, unlike the season's mod, the giant season doesn't get rid of the straw, so we can leave that there for a little bit, but we're not going to leave it there for too long, if I'm honest, because because you know, you just wouldn't leave, you know, the danger is that it will rain on it, so you wouldn't leave straw out that long, but you can leave it out for a little bit and just, you know, make sure it really is dry, especially at sort of 5:15 in the morning in terms of game time, not real time. You probably can't see the clock time of the real time, but it's 9:10 in the morning, so a bit of a later start today. Didn't lay in or anything, I just other stuff to do on my computer, so yeah. But right, we'll go and get this done. It doesn't really matter which way we do it, to be fair, because I think what we'll do is we'll do it up and down this way. The other reason as well why I'm going to leave the baling is because I need to get this corn off. I want to get this off first if I can, but if it looks like rain in the forecast, then you know, that isn't going to be possible. But yeah, that's what I would like to do. But as I say, it is, what's it going to be, September at the earliest before we can get it off. It's only June now, although at the end of the day it'll be July, or the start of tomorrow, I guess. It'll be July, but yeah, so lots to do, and only me to do it, so we need to crack on. But anyway, we'll do the disaster that is manure spreading, because I don't always get this right, but I do my best, you know. I do my best, like. So we'll crack on. But yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. Lot to do in this series. You know, the next thing that we're going to do as well is, well, we've still got Harry's wheat to harvest, which, if I can get the manure spreading done today, like in today, then I would like to get on with combining Harry's wheat. We've only got one wheat field to do, so the wheat field's the other side of the road to Harry's that I was considering buying, and then going to consider buying and then you know, harvest them and Harry have some new fields. They've all been harvested as far as I can tell. I've not actually been up to Harry's farm, so but from a distance it looks like stubble there now, not crop. So yeah, they've all been harvested, but not to worry. Like I say, to be fair, I'm not desperate to get Harry more land, because in the autumn, when the work on both farms does slow down a little bit, I do tend to do quite a bit of contracting with Harry's farm. I might even show a few more jobs of that, to be fair, because I don't really show it, because I just kind of sort of worry a bit that people, you know, sort of kind of get a little bit, I don't know, I just do. But after a wonderful comment that I had last night from someone on YouTube, which really sort of, I don't know, you know, it really kind of made me, it took me aback really, you know. It knocked me sort of off my feet. I wasn't expecting it, you know. I mean, you know, naturally I have a fairly, I would say, see, again, people are going to kind of, people that know me were going, oh, you're picking on yourself again. You know, and I'm not, but I don't, you know, in terms of, if you watch my videos, you watch, you know, Daggerwin's videos, squash videos, I'm nowhere near as good with an editor and doing the clever videos that they do, and what have you. I do my videos my way, and I'm happy with that, because you can only be the best of yourself. You know, I can't be the best of other people. I can only be the best of myself, so that's fine. So when, you know, your local Pelican messaged me and said, you know, what they said, then yeah, it really does mean a lot, and it does inspire, you know, to think, actually, you know, I need to keep doing this. I'm possibly am doing the right things, you know. I possibly am, you know, sort of getting it right. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit even this morning about it, you know. You know, saying that by far and away, in their opinion, you know, I'm sort of the best farm sim YouTube creator at the moment, and I'm the only one that they watch. And it, like, as I say, it took me back. So I was like, what? You know, no way. Like, you know, there's loads of people doing, you know, things much better than me. But yeah, it really did mean something. And as I say, it has inspired me, and or it's encouraged me, because you know, I'm fairly sort of, I don't know, yeah, I'm easily motivated by doing videos, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't do it. When you've got ADHD, if you're not motivated to do something, you don't do it. I can assure you. But I like, you know, I do get really, as I say, motivated to do, you know, and I'm always trying to think of new things and trying to think of new ideas and new sort of, you know, well, you know, yeah, it's a farming game, so I'm limited to farming, but how can we make, you know, the save different and what have you, and you know, and so I'm always kind of thinking, I've got, you know, sort of things lined up for future, you know, when a few series is come to a natural end, you know, Walter and, you know, the farmers market. The farmers market, I really enjoy that series. I really enjoy recording it. It hasn't quite gone how I wanted it to go. It's kind of sort of, I don't know, branched. I think it was because I didn't realise that it was on easy for quite a while, and so what happened was that you know, I've progressed a lot further and a lot quicker than what I ever envisaged I would do. I need to fill up because I won't make it back. I'll make it up there, but I won't make it back, and because that stubble's quite long, I can't really see where I left to. I did consider mulching that field, but you know, I thought, did they really do a lot of mulching back in 1950? Probably not. You know, I've not looked into that, but yeah, I thought, well, no, we'll just we'll just crack on. But as I say, the only thing is that I do have to make sure I can do complete breeds, rather than sort of run out of manure halfway down. Because otherwise I won't really ever see where I got to. All right. See, I spilt it this side this time. Oh well. Even in real life, I used to get spillage. I never used to load manure very much. I did it a couple of times, but again, another one of those jobs on the farm that I never really got. Whether it was because of me slurry episode or not, I don't know. Because I must admit that did put me off, especially in the end, being hospitalised by it. It did put me off. But yeah, it wasn't it wasn't pleasant. But so whether that was the reasoning why, because I mean I did go down there, and I would do sort of jobs down at the dairy, like usually sort of I didn't do slurry no more, but I did like bale carting and sort of stuff like that. Just in the winter, really, just to find something to do. If I, because obviously most farms in the winter, certainly the first farm I worked on in the winter, it would be maintenance time of year. You'd be in the workshop, but not that they maintain much. I don't know. I just couldn't work out the first farm. It was like, because they had a lot of money coming in from another source, it almost felt like farming was a hobby to them. And if something broke, they just, it was like, yeah, bodge it and we'll just carry on. And it's like, why are we bodging? Why don't we fix it? Or at the very least, seeing as it's 40 years old now, why don't we, buy another one, buy a new one? And I say that not lightly, because I know how much, expensive, sort of farm equipment is. But as I've said, they had a major amount of money coming in from another income source, and so therefore, they could definitely afford it. It's very odd to me that they were very lazy farmers. A lot of the time I used to sort of, because they used to say to me, "Oh, you can go home at 5 if you want. There's always tomorrow." And it's like, well, no, there's not always tomorrow, because if we get rain or breakdowns or whatever, you need to be while things are going, you need to be going, and I don't know. I just it was a good learning. It was it was a great place to do my apprenticeship. I think I'm way too far out here, by the way. Yeah, it was a good place to do my apprenticeship. Oh no, we're okay. It seemed like I was a long way over then. Yeah, so it's a good place, as I say, to do my apprenticeship and to learn the job and to learn different things. And I learned to sort of service tractors and what have you. I mean, that was one thing they were fairly up on, in terms of the tractors. The tractors got serviced at every service interval, whether it be a major one at the dealership or whether it was one that I could do, like changing the oils, changing the filters and stuff like that. I'm not very good at mechanicking, but I was more than capable of doing that. Yeah, I enjoyed doing that, actually, to be fair. But yeah, their attitude in the end started to rub off, and the thing was, I'm not bothered about admitting it, but their attitude rubbed off on me, and then I became a lazy worker, because I was just like, I'll do it tomorrow, and then it was kind of like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing that, and then you would sort of not do it or put it off or whatever, and they'd come to you and be like, well, we've asked you to do this, and it's like, yeah, I'll get around to it, don't worry, but I've got more interesting jobs to do, or I used to say, oh, it's a wet day job, that, and You know, as I say, it sort of rubbed off on me. And then when I got to the second farm, you know, after you know, the farm manager had sat on the tractor with me while I was ploughing and offered me the job, and I thought about it, and then I spoke to the guy that I was working with, John, and he said, like, you'd be stupid to turn it down. He said, like, you know, he said there were a lot of people, a lot of tractor drivers, a lot of young lads like you working on farms like this that would give an arm and a leg to work, you know, for them, because they're, you know, they're big equipment, they're big farm, you know, big farmers, they're, you know, you want to be going, you know, there shouldn't be no thought needed. And of course on that, then I did ring them and say to them, you know, yeah, I'd like to come for an interview, because I had to go for, I mean, it was a box ticking interview. It wasn't an interview, not really. It was like, when can you start, you know? And then, like, obviously I told him about my, well, I told him on my tractor actually about, like, you know, I'd obviously got health issues. He just went, oh, I'm not bothered about that. We'll accommodate that. That's no problem. You know, we'll make sure that everything that you need, or, you know, you'll be looked after properly. And that's what happened. You know, I got there, and because I, you know, I'd sort of had it before, and sort of the first farm had said that as well, but it wasn't the case. You know, I've told the story before about, you know, where they got me to you know, dig through, sort of, well, chop through concrete and rubble, you know, with pickaxes and shovels and stuff, and you know, to find a water pipe for the animals, rather than hiring, like any normal person would do, a mini excavator and do it that way, you know. But they, you know, they, as I say, and then had a go at me because it was taking longer than a morning, you know. I mean, I'm not being funny. It took me a couple of hours to break through the concrete. The concrete must have been about, I don't know, 12 inches thick. It was like, it was just, and it was well laid and all, because it wasn't breaking easy. But yeah, so as I say, but on the second farm, nothing like that, you know, ever. You know, they used to come to me and go, do you think physically you'd be able to do this job? And they give me the job, you know, tell me what the job is, and then I'd say, I'm not sure, and they'd say, well, do you want to give it a try? If you can't, just leave it. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll give it a try, because it's important to try, because, you know, I'm of the opinion, you know, yes, I do have limitations, but unless you try, you don't really know where those limitations are. And the other, oh, I was a bit wide that time. Look. It's funny because I felt like I was overlapping that time. That time I actually felt like I was overlapping. It doesn't matter. We don't have to do every single. We don't have to cover, you know, every single bit, as long as we do the vast majority. But it's really hard in the long stubble to kind of see where you should be, and it's hard to judge sort of how far to the left of that line I am, you know. But anyway, we'll do our best. Like I say, you don't have to cover every bit. I'm not too worried. It's just we've got excess manure, and it's not really worth anything in the game, so you may as well spread it on your fields. It's a bit of fertilizer in it, even if you have to go back over it with a sprayer and just top it up. You know, it's a bit of fertilizer, so not to worry. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse, and we'll get this done. And well, hopefully we'll get the whole field done, but if not, we'll get as much of it done as we can, and then say in the next episode, which will be more than likely, so I'll pre-warn you now, gives you the choice of whether you want to watch. Then it will be a chatty video. A few things that that have happened this week that reminded me of some stories of when I worked on the farm, and you know, I think it's quite important to highlight them. I don't think I've told the stories before, so I think we're fine on that one. But yeah, so but anyway, as I say, look, I'm going to switch over to a bit of time lapse, and we'll get as much of this done, hopefully all of it, but as much of it done as we can, and then we'll see where we're at from there. See you in a minute.
left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
And I'm back. How are we all going on? That's a nice bit of manure spread now. I need to, and you know the old adage, you learn something new every day. Today I have learned something new. So I've been playing this game now since 2009. It was in the summer of 2009 when I was scrolling through the internet looking for some simulation games, i.e. racing simulation games, and happened to come across a game called Sim Tractor and downloaded it, really enjoyed it, and then probably another couple of days later I was looking through the internet again, and because obviously that was now in my cookies, if you like, the internet eventually brought up Farming Sim 2009, to which I downloaded it. And I have to be honest, when I first downloaded it and first started playing it, I was kind of, it's okay, it's not as good as Sim Tractor. Sim Tractor was built by a independent sort of, just someone sitting in his bedroom basically, and he announced that because Farming Sim had come available, that he wasn't going to be able to compete in terms of money and investments, and there was only him, whereas there was, I think at the time, 3 of them, I think, originally on Farming Sim, and he decided that he was going to end it there and then. And I'd by this point got into playing farm sim games. Now, it's too much of a stretch to call this game a simulation, as in Farming Simulator. It doesn't really simulate farming at all. It highlights farming, is I think a better way of kind of putting it. But I started playing in 2009, as I say, and I've bought every single version of FS ever since, and I would say 90% of all of the DLCs. There's been a few DLCs that just doesn't apply to me and I've just not been interested in, but I would say I bought a good 90%. I've even bought the Farmers Market DLC the other day for this FS22, and this is, sort of 6 months after, or 5 months after FS25 came out. I've got the Giants have got no chance of me buying the first DLC for FS25 that's coming out. There's not a hope in hell's chance they're going to get me to buy the virtual reality version of the game, because it just doesn't interest me. And I will not be buying any DLCs until FS25 is made playable, and I'm not doing a very good job here, am I? I've not been doing too bad all the way across the field, but yeah, I've not done a good job there. Yeah, so as I say, and really enjoyed the games up to 25. Like, absolutely loved pretty much every version of FS right out of the box. Even now when I look back at 2009, and I sort of think, yeah, I wasn't keen on it. I wasn't keen on it because you could only, I think at the time, you could only grow wheat, was it, or wheat and barley or something like that, and everything was a bit cartoony. So it was kind of, wasn't really into it as such. Like I have been up until FS25, and I like FS25. The game has got some really good points and has got some really good features, and I like the pea viners and the bean harvesters, and the spinach and all of that with the carrots and everything else. So I think there is going to come a point at some time in the future, probably not even the long distance future, but sometimes in the future, there's going to come a point where I absolutely love FS25 and I'll be doing a lot more videos on it, but we haven't reached that point yet, mainly because the fundamental things that should work out of the box on day one really don't. And as I say, with windrows disappearing all over the place and all of that, at the moment it's not a game that I particularly enjoy playing. I much prefer playing FS22. And do I think I'd probably get a few more video views on my videos if I did FS25? Probably. But I can't do something I don't enjoy. I've always been like that, and at the moment I don't enjoy the problems with FS25. Thankfully, touch wood, they have now seemingly got rid of all the crashes that I was getting. the game hasn't crashed, touch wood, on me for a little while now. And every now and again I will just nip into FS25 and just have a little look and a play about and what have you, you know, to see whether or not you know, things are improving. I'll go this other way, it's a bit quicker. But yeah, so anyway, as I was going to say originally, so I've been playing since 2009, and earlier in the episode, in the time lapse, I did something that I have not known since 2009 that you couldn't do, but when I realised you could do it, I then felt really stupid for not realising that I could do it. So you all saw me do it, you know, you all saw me do it, and I was just like, why has that never occurred to me before? Why has that never ever occurred to me that you can do this? And I'm only going to do it this once. I know I did it that time, but I was curious as to see whether it would work, because I still didn't think it would work. Right, so I'm only going to do it this once. Right, but I am curious to know. Oh, well, I was at the time, but why I never realised you could just do this. From there, I have no idea. I honestly, it completely baffles me, because, and I'll tell you the reason why it baffles me, is I've known from day one that I can drive up to this symbol, press R, and it'll fill my slurry spreader up with slurry. Why on earth I didn't never think that this symbol here would fill my manure spreader up with manure? It completely baffles me that I've never put the two together. And so when I tried it, as I say, a bit earlier on in the time lapse, I was like, oh my god, how stupid have I been for the last, what, nearly 20 years? Jesus. No, not 20 years, 15 years. Like, honestly, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, Jesus, James, how slow does a human being have to be before they start to fall back to your level? But there we go. Yeah, so anyway, we've got the vast majority of this field manure spread now. I think I may have gone way past this time. Indeed I have. Yeah, I can't believe I've just started doing such a terrible job. Especially as, I mean, I had missed a few bits and pieces over that side. But I hadn't done that, which is a bit annoying, but never mind. I might, off camera, go back and fill all those bits in. They're not easy to see, that's the thing, so, you know, but as I say, I might do. But yeah, as I say, that did come as a bit of a surprise. I mean, not that I shall now go and use that method rather than using, you know, in this save we're using the forward end and the rear, like forklift thing. You know, that it's not going to stop me from using that, and in my own saves where I do manure, it won't stop me using telehandlers and wheel loaders and everything else, because I get far more out of the game doing it that way. The only reason why I have to do the slurry that way is because there's no other way for me to get the slurry out, or not that I'm aware of anyway. There may well be a mod where you have to connect hoses and stuff and what have you, but I don't know. But I mean, that might be stretching the game's capabilities a little bit too far, I don't know. But as I say, you know, the only reason I do it that way for the slurry is because that's the only way I can get it out. But for manure, I just thought you always had to use you know, a forklift or a bucket, or, you know, some mechanism or an elevator or something like that, you know, conveyor belt that can, you know, sort of you know, load your manure spreaders or trailers from that way. But yeah, I never realised you could do it by just literally driving up and then oh, do you know what, honestly, it's an absolute disgrace, the standard that I'm showing right now. I don't know why it's suddenly doing that, but like I say, that is now starting to annoy my OCD. Bits and pieces here and there I can kind of live with, but that big bit down there, that is now starting to annoy my OCD, so I'm going to have to go back and do a lot of these strips off camera. But as I say, I'm going to leave this episode here for now. mainly because I'm running out of memory, unfortunately, and it's soon going to quit on me, and you know, then I'm not going to be able to do the end of this video. So as I say, I'm going to leave it here. So thanks ever so much for watching. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I hope you will join me again in the next episode. Bye for now.